Today's video is for the people trying to build something this summer. Maybe you're building a business, a YouTube channel, healthier habits, a side hustle, a creative project, financial stability, your confidence, or simply rebuilding your life after a difficult season. And if that's for you, I want to start by saying this. Building during summer can feel weird because while everyone else seems to be posting beach days, festivals, holidays, and spontaneous adventures, you're trying to balance your ambition with actually enjoying your life. Part of you wants to rest, part of you wants to make memories, part of you wants to work towards your goals, and another part of you feels guilty no matter what you choose. If you've ever thought, shouldn't I be doing more? Am I wasting my summer? Why can't I focus? How do I stay productive when it's hot and everyone else seems to be having fun? This video is for you. Because today, we're talking about finding flow state in summer. Not hustle, not burnout, not forcing productivity, flow. We'll talk about what flow state actually is, why summer changes our energy, how to work with your rhythms instead of against them, creating a summer that supports both ambition and joy, and practical ways to make meaningful progress without sacrificing your well-being. And at the end, I'll give you action steps so you can build what matters without losing yourself in the process. So grab a cold drink, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. Flow state is often described as being completely immersed in what you're doing. You lose track of time. You're focused, but not forcing. Challenged, but not overwhelmed. Present, but energized. Maybe you've experienced, writing, painting, editing videos, exercising, gardening, cooking, studying, organizing, having meaningful conversations. You're engaged, you're absorbed, you're participating fully. And honestly, I think many of us assume flow requires perfect conditions, but it doesn't. Flow is less about perfection and more about creating environments that support concentration and enjoyment. Summer changes things. The days are longer, schedules shift, people travel, children are home from school, social opportunities increase, the weather affects your energy levels, and suddenly the routines that worked in winter don't fit anymore. Then we blame ourselves. We think, why can't I stay disciplined? But maybe the question isn't, what's wrong with me? Maybe it's, what season am I in? Different seasons require different strategies. You don't have to operate exactly the same way year-round. Adaptation isn't failure. It's wisdom. I used to think consistency meant doing everything exactly the same every day. Same wake-up time, same schedule, same output, no matter how I felt. But real life doesn't work that way. Some days you're energized, some days you're depleted, some days creativity flows naturally, some days it doesn't. Instead of forcing productivity, ask, when do I naturally have more energy? For people in summer, that might be early mornings before the heat, evenings after sunset, shorter focused sessions throughout the day. Working with your energy often creates more sustainable results than fighting it. I think social media has convinced us that success always looks dramatic. Early mornings, long hours, constant hustle, grinding. But often meaningful progress looks surprisingly ordinary. It's answering your emails, writing one page, editing for an hour, posting consistently, taking one walk, reading 10 pages, practicing a skill. Tiny actions repeated consistently build extraordinary things over time. You don't need to earn success through exhaustion. You need repetition. Instead of rigid schedules, I prefer thinking about anchors, a few supportive habits that create rhythm. So for example, your morning anchors could be hydration, movement, journaling, planning your top priorities. Your work anchors could be focused work blocks, reducing distractions, clear stopping points. And then your evening anchors could be reflection, connection, rest, preparing for tomorrow. Anchors provide structure without suffocation because flexibility matters too. One of the biggest obstacles to flow isn't laziness. It's fragmentation. It's the notifications, the scrolling, the constant comparison, multitasking, trying to consume while creating. Flow requires attention. and attention has become one of our most valuable resources. Ask yourself, what pulls me out of presence most often? Can I silence the notifications? Put my phone in another room? Use timers? Batch similar tasks? Create boundaries around social media? You don't need perfect focus, just enough space to become immersed. I think one reason people resist structure in summer is because they're afraid productivity will steal spontaneity. But structure can actually protect joy, because when you know you've honored your priorities, it's easier to enjoy rest without guilt. So schedule both, work and wonder, progress and play. Some examples could be sunset walks, picnics, day trips, reading outside, movie nights, cafes, spontaneous adventures. You don't have to choose between building your dreams and enjoying your life. The goal is integration. Perfection kills momentum. You wait for the perfect idea, the perfect mood, the perfect conditions, the perfect timing. Meanwhile, nothing gets done. Flow often emerges after starting, not before. The first draft won't be perfect. The workout won't be perfect. The video won't be perfect. But movement creates clarity. Action creates confidence. Progress creates evidence that you're capable. Start before you feel fully ready. I think this is one of the most overlooked truths. Flow requires recovery. Exhaustion narrows creativity. Burnout reduces concentration. Chronic stress affects performance. Rest isn't the reward for productivity. It's part of productivity. So prioritize your sleep, your hydration, your nourishment, your breaks, your movement, your emotional recovery. Because you cannot sustainably build beautiful things while constantly abandoning yourself. The person creating the dream matters too. If you're building something this summer, I hope you remember this. You don't have to prove your worth through overworking. You don't have to match someone else's pace. You don't have to choose between ambition and enjoyment. You are allowed to work towards meaningful goals, adapt to changing seasons, and honor your energy, protect your peace, and create a life that feels good while you're living it. Success isn't only found in the destination, it's found in the way you move through the journey. And maybe this summer isn't asking you to hustle harder. Maybe it's asking you to find your rhythm, to trust consistency over intensity, to let flow guide the way. Here are your action steps for the summer. Identify your peak energy times. Ask, when do I naturally focus best during summer? Build around those windows. Choose 3 daily anchors. This could be morning hydration, focused work block, evening reflection. Keep them simple. Protect your attention. Reduce distractions during focused work. Create space for immersion. Schedule in your joy. Plan activities that help you enjoy the season. Progress and pleasure can coexist. Redefine productivity. Ask, what would meaningful progress look like this week? Aim for consistency rather than perfection. I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.